Hey everyone! Thanks for checking out my first story overview. In this series of videos, we're going to go over the story in the Kingdom Hearts games, which may be one of the most convoluted storylines in all of gaming. But I'm going to try and cover it in the most comprehensive way possible, which believe me is a real challenge. I'm planning on getting one of these out each week to cover the entire series, so hopefully we get all that done before the release of Kingdom Hearts 3. Subscribe and stay tuned for that stuff, and I'm going to run a Kingdom Hearts related giveaway at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. The story for Kingdom Hearts is told throughout 10 games, a CGI movie, but it's pretty confusing and most answers about the plot come from the creator interviews, Japanese art books, and stuff like that that's just hard to get a hold of. All the stuff in the story so far covers the Dark Seeker storyline, which is considered the first act of the Kingdom Hearts series and is going to end in Kingdom Hearts 3. So pretty much everything so far has been building towards it. My goal here is to sort out everything that's happened so that I'm best prepared for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I thought I'd put together these videos to share it with everyone else. If you've only played through some of the games, you'll be amazed at how complex and vague the story gets later on. There's some ridiculous plot elements that are introduced in the side stories, and it's just so confusing, so if you're planning on jumping into 3 and don't plan on playing through all of these beforehand, these videos should help bring you up to speed. So first off, super spoilers coming up. If you want to play through these games yourselves, then you just should. They're meant to be played in release order so that the mysteries and revelations build as the creators intended, but I'm covering everything in timeline order, so things that are revealed in later games will be told to you earlier on in these videos. Next up, the series creator Nomura loves his mysteries, and so some of the information regarding what's happening in the games is vague or misleading. Because of that, many of the narrative elements are open for interpretation, so this is my best guess or my personal choice at what I think is going on based on the information we have. Fans have many different interpretations of some of the plot points, so feel free to mention that in the comments if you think I got something wrong or if you want to share your interpretation. I purposely didn't watch other plot summaries before doing this series so that I wouldn't be influenced by those, but the Kingdom Hearts community has some real hardcore lore fans, so if there's stuff that's obvious that I didn't know about, then please just let me know in the comments. Lastly, if you somehow didn't know, Kingdom Hearts is a series that includes Disney characters, Final Fantasy characters, and new original characters that make up its story. While some of the Disney characters and locations play key roles in the main story, for the most part, the individual stories of those Disney worlds is pretty inconsequential to the main story. They mostly retell events from their films, so I'm not going to mention those story details unless they're specifically important to the main plot. As for how the crossover stuff is handled, the Disney stuff is treated really well. Each movie is represented with its own world where the characters live, and the events there basically follow the original beats of the stories. But the Final Fantasy stuff is just a joke. They basically just took random characters from the games and put them wherever they want, their personalities are wrong, they don't come from the worlds that represent their original games, and they aren't even paired up in ways that make sense. So yeah, just try not to think about that too much if you're a Final Fantasy fan like me. So let's get going. The Kingdom Hearts timeline begins in the Realm of Light, a realm of many distinct lands mostly taken from Disney films. This era becomes known as the Age of Fairy Tales. Kingdom Hearts is the name of the light that protects the land from the darkness that exists in the Realm of Darkness. Kingdom Hearts is ambiguously described as the heart of all worlds, a manifestation of the heart in everything in the universe, and a source of ultimate power. It's protected by its counterpart, the Keyblade. This special Keyblade is spelt with the Greek X-like looking letter for Chi, which can also be pronounced Key. So I'm just going to call it the X Keyblade to avoid major confusion coming up. The X Keyblade is like a key to Kingdom Hearts. To obtain the power of Kingdom Hearts, whatever that may actually be, you need to have the X Keyblade to unlock it. This video is going to cover the browser and mobile games in the series, Kingdom Hearts Chi, Unchained X, Union Cross, and 2.8 back cover. That's a lot of stuff that most people didn't play, so I know this stuff is going to be new for a lot of people. So this is going to be the most interesting video for a lot of people. I don't blame you for not playing these games. Well, you couldn't play some of them, and others are just really time consuming, so yeah. So let's get started with Kingdom Hearts Chi back cover, which was part of the PS4 package, Kingdom Hearts 2.8. It was a CGI movie about an hour long. And it covers part of the story from the other games we're going to talk about here, but it doesn't really fit anywhere. It just has a lot of information, so I'm going to start with it. The story here starts in Daybreak Town, where the eccentric and playful Master of Masters sets a plan into motion. The Master is a man who hides his appearance by wearing a black cloak and has extensive knowledge of the realms, Kingdom Hearts, and Keyblades. He's also the earliest Keyblade wielder that we know of. It's unknown if he's ever come into contact with the X Keyblade, but he has enough knowledge to create lesser replicas of it, which he can call forth from the heart of a person, basically giving a Keyblade to anybody. He takes on 6 different masked apprentices who become Keyblade Masters. As the first step in his plan, he has 5 of them create unions, where they'll build up armies of Keyblade wielders who go out and collect light from the world called Lux. These apprentices become masters known as the Foretellers, and they include Master Ira, the Unicorn Mask-wearing Master who will start the Unicornus Union, Master Envy, the Cobra mask wearing master who starts the Angus Union. Master Acid, the Bear mask wearing master who starts the Ursus Union. Master Ava, the Fox mask wearing master who starts the Vulpes Union. Master Gula, the Leopard mask wearing master who starts the Leopardus Guild. And the Black Cloaked Lushu who has a different job. The Foretellers and each member of their union is given a Keyblade and a Spirit Chithari, which is a Dream Eater spirit created by the Master to help them. The 6th apprentice Lushu is given a special role to stay out of the upcoming conflict and instead observe it, carrying a special Keyblade that the Master of Masters created and has called the No-Name Keyblade, which contains one of his eyes. Lushu's job is to pass the Keyblade down through his apprentices over time so that magically the Master will instantly learn what happens in the future because his eye sees it over time. Using that information of what will happen in the future, he writes the Book of Prophecies and gives a copy to each of the 5 foretellers. But one page is missing. The book describes an upcoming war between Keyblade wielders over the light and dark that will cause the realm of light to get shrouded by darkness. He tells the foretellers that there is no way to stop the war, and instead gives them specific rules to follow in order to prepare the world for rebuilding after the war. Before Lushu leaves to observe the upcoming events, the Master gives him the missing page from the book and a large black box to carry with him that he's told never to open. The Master does tell Lushu what's in the black box, but we're never told. The missing page contains the Master of Masters' wishes, which implies that the Master wanted the Keyblade War to happen. It was likely avoidable, but for whatever reason, he set it up so it would happen, and Lushu seemed to be on board with that. After setting all this up, the Master disappears. Following the Master's rules basically puts all of the unions against each other. It leads to a lot of infighting between the unions, especially when it's revealed that one of the Masters may be a traitor who's being corrupted by the darkness. While the others mainly try to figure out who the traitor is and fight over which union has the most lux, Master Ava continues her separate assignment of building a group of elite Keyblade wielders called the Dandelions. That brings us to Kingdom Hearts Chi, which is a browser game in Japan. The same story is revealed here, but you play a member of one of those unions. In the game you travel to other worlds, which end up being illusionary future worlds created by the Book of Prophecies, which I know is confusing, but just take it at that. While the worlds are illusionary, the light connected there is part of the Realm of Light's lux. So it's real light that they're collecting just from illusionary worlds. The game says it's because it's too hard to get to all the worlds to gather this light, so this trick lets the unions do it without the hassle of traveling around. However, there's also a strange series of scenes where Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Chip, and Dale show up in the non-illusionary Daybreak Town with no explanation. This may never be explained, so I'm just going to assume it's another illusion from the book. But if it is explained in the future, that would be pretty interesting because it'd be some time travel stuff. I mean, they shouldn't be here. This is 100 years in the past. We'll see if they explain it for Kingdom Hearts 3. While you're out collecting Lux, you're also collecting darkness through a bangle accessory that was given to you by your Chithari. Now, you don't know this. It's just happening as part of the plot. The darkness power collected here is actually the cause of some Chithari turning into nightmares. Yeah. The darkness power collected here is actually the cause of Chithari turning into nightmare forms instead of the Dream Eater spirits that they are, and that happens when their users are corrupted by the darkness. In a strange narrative choice in the browser game, the Nightmare Chithari that messes with the player throughout the whole game is revealed as the player's second Chithari that has been taken over by the darkness and gained free will to cause trouble. It's really confusing. I'm not sure why you have two Chitharis, compared to other people, but yeah, that's just what it is. It's your Chithari that's the dark evil one. Back to the main story, your player in the game meets a member of another union called Ephemer. Not happy with the reasons he's been given for gathering Lux, he investigates the truth behind the unions and discovers that the world's gonna end. Master Ava finds him and asks him to be the leader of the Dandelions, which is a group that will escape the world to avoid the upcoming Keyblade War and then come back to manage things afterwards. After that, he disappears. Your character doesn't know what's happened to your friend, though he seems to be communicating to you and another Keyblade wielder through your dreams. That Keyblade wielder named Skull joins you as you go to discover the truth about what's going on. Master Ava asks you to join the Dandelions, and Skull takes her up on the offer, but you can't leave your other friends behind and you decide to take part in the war. The war happens, thousands of Keyblade wielders are killed, including the 5 foretellers, and while the player lies dying on the battlefield that will become known as the Keyblade Graveyard, Ephemer and Skuld come back to the world to take you away with them, or it may just be a vision as you die. That's up to you to decide. And with that, the state of the Kingdom Hearts world changes forever. Kingdom Hearts and its protecting light disappear from the realm of light. The X Keyblade, wherever it was, shatters into 13 pieces of darkness and 7 pieces of light. And that should be the end of the realm of light. But those 7 pieces of light become pure hearts, and the light from them is used to remake and protect small individual worlds that are all now cut off from each other. These pure hearts, made from the 7 pieces of light, will basically give birth to the Princesses of Heart, which we'll get to way later. And that brings us to Kingdom Hearts Unchained Chi. This was for iOS and Android, and we did get it over here, and it seemed to be a complete remake of Kingdom Hearts Chi until we get to the Season 2 of its content, which starts off after the game was updated to its new name, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. So yeah, in Kingdom Hearts Unchained Chi, or Union Cross, we learned that Master Ava was given a list of 5 Keyblade wielders put together by the Master. Her job is to get all of them into the Dandelions, and then appoint them to be leaders of 5 new unions that would start once the war is over. The Master also specified one specific person who should be given a copy of the Book of Prophecies in secret, but we don't know which one gets it. Ava tells the 5 leaders to meet at the Keyblade Graveyard a set time after the war ends. The chosen leaders are Ephemer and Skuld, who we already know about, and new characters Ventus, Brian, and Strelitzia. Shortly before the war, however, Strelitzia is killed by an unknown assassin. After the war, the 5 new leaders meet up for the first time and learn who each other are. At the meeting, we see Ephemer, Skuld, Ventus, Brian, and the latecomer Lariam, who has taken Strelitsia's place. If you've played through the later games, you may recognize 2 of those characters, but damned if we know how they get from here to there. The leaders enact the next part of the Master's plan, which is to take the survivors into the Unchained Realm, a realm of sleep. In the Kingdom Hearts universe, the Unchained Realm is a realm of dreams that is made up of the dreams of sleeping worlds or of individual persons. Dream Eaters and Nightmares are born from these realms and can come into the real world, but they can only survive as long as the world or person they were born from are still sleeping. It's unclear which dream, if any, the original Dream Eater Chitheries and spirits come from, or which dream the surviving Keyblade Masters are going to now. So the reason we learn that they're going to the Unchained Realm is that all of the Dandelion members are going to relive their life, going through all the events that led up to the Keyblade War with their unions, except that this time, they won't remember that the Keyblade War happened. So basically, most of the game that feels like a remake is just them reliving that, and it doesn't end the same way. The reason that they're doing this apparently is so that they don't have those bad memories and can concentrate on the future. That may be a cop-out, I'm not sure. The new unions continue visiting worlds, collecting lux, and there's even an anime-style beach episode where they live out their new dreams. The last world in the latest update is the Enchanted Realm, where you go up against Maleficent. So that's as far as the English version goes, but the Japanese version is a bit ahead, and it sounds like we won't get everything they have before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. I was able to see the next 2 story segments thanks to the KH Insider channel who has them translated, which is great because they do feature a good bit more information. First off, we see Lariam meet up with a new character called Elrena. He tells her that he's looking for his sister Strelitzia, so that clears up who he is and what he's doing, but it makes who killed her an even bigger mystery. In both scenes, we learn that the worlds that the characters are visiting since the Keyblade War happened in the original are no longer projections from the Book of Prophecies, since the Master and Foretellers are gone, and that doesn't work anymore, so instead they're digital versions of worlds created out of data. This will make more sense as we get into later games. The last new scene shows that Maleficent from the future has gained the power to travel through time. She heads back to where she was first beaten by Prince Philip and the Fairy Godmothers in Sleeping Beauty to stop herself from losing. But a mysterious figure, likely the Master, has set up a trap. Afraid that her time travel is going to mess up his plans, he gets her trapped in a data version of her world instead of the real one. Given the time travel rules of Kingdom Hearts, I'm not quite sure exactly how the trap was set up, but let's not worry about that for now. The mysterious figure tells Maleficent she needs to go back to her own time. She says she can't travel forwards into time, but the figure says there's a way. So that's where we're at with the whole Chi sub-series. It's going to be really key going into Kingdom Hearts 3. I know a lot of people didn't play it. Back cover was great for explaining some of it in more detail, but not quite enough. And even more frustrating is that the story here isn't done. It's going to keep getting updated as things go, so who knows how much they're going to reveal before Kingdom Hearts 3 and after Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, in at least the Japanese version. So a quick recap, and my key takeaways from this episode is basically the Master of Masters set up a plan which causes the Keyblade War to happen, which wrecked the world of light, and he's still out there somewhere waiting to cash in on that result. His apprentice Luxu carried a black box, which is something really important, but we don't know what's in it. Maleficent from the future has time travel powers, and after the war, the surviving Keyblade wielders are in the Dream Realm and or Data Realms, and it's just vague enough that a twist at any time could completely recontextualize what's going on here. So, yeah, let's see how that all plays out. Thanks for checking out this video. In the next one, we'll get to Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 1, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you then. Bye!